linkages with the community. So we're continuing to fine tune them and get our numbers up of people connecting and following up on folks. But a lot of the structure was in place prior to the town meeting. So,
Was there anything done with regard to the ventilation, air conditioning at the jail? I know that was something that was, of course, it was June when the session was held, but it seemed to be on frequently mentioned, and I was wondering whether that was addressed.
Yes. The jail, the life of a jail is typically 30 years old nationally. Our jail, as you see in the slide, is substantially older.
You said the life of a jail?
Life of a jail.
What does that mean?
That means the system started breaking down very quickly, and it's a great cost to the jurisdictions to maintain monetarily and in human resources as well.
What do jurisdictions do?
They build new jails.
Really?
Yes, sir. We are the oldest jail in this region.
I'm never impressed with this particular statistic. I always tell people I was talking to a group, about school facilities being repaired, and we were talking about it, and and I don't know how we got on the subject, but we were saying, the buildings, are old, and the person said to me, well, Harvard has old buildings. Because the buildings are like 150 years old, but they're maintained. I don't know what it matters how old the building is, just so long as
it's the use, sir. 19,000 come through that jail a year. 19,000 of our citizens, which means the cell doors have to be opened repeatedly. That what it means is your kitchen operations is being taxed. As I said, we're the oldest jail in the region.
Yeah, but that doesn't. These are buildings. Let's just fix the doors and fix the air conditioning. I don't think you need to get a whole new building. I don't think we should say that anymore.
All right, sir.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, what we're doing in terms of the ventilation, we are repairing the ventilation.
Yeah.
We've replaced it. Last summer when you came, there was a complaint by the inmates about the heat. One of the chillers had broken. The chiller has been replaced.
Okay. All right, so we've got these 8 or 9 things. What do we think, when we go back to the jail? So we'll have a town hall. I assume we'll have maybe some of the same neighbors who are there, but we probably will have a lot of others, but they will know very well what changes have occurred. What do we think they're going to say?
I think they'll say there have been major improvements in many areas, but there's still challenges.
Have you had engaged some of the neighbors and talked and looked at some of the changes that have been made?
We followed your model. We challenged all of our case managers in each of the housing units to conduct town hall meetings of their own.
Oh, good.
All right, to get out on that tier and interact with those inmates.
So how many town hall meetings have we had since June 22nd?
Well, there should have been one at least every week.
On average, each zone, so at least 3 to 4 per week, somewhere in
3 to 4 per week?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And how many people come to these town halls?
18 housing units, not.
And how many are in a unit? How many people?
160 or less. And about 9 units, there are about 80 inmates. And the remaining units, there are about 160 or less.
Can you have 160 people in one place at one time?
Yes, sir, as long as they are not on lockdown.
But we were only able to have a certain amount of people in that room. We weren't able to have 160.
Individual cell blocks. We didn't bring them out of the housing units. So in the housing units, there are about 160. And when we went to the expanded rec, we now have them all out at one time, providing there's no incidents. If there's an incident, they go back to the 80 and 80.
What we tried to do for you, sir, was give you, per your instructions, a cross-section in one room of the entire inmate population.
So the case managers are doing this as well?
Yes, sir.
In addition, we're developing, we just met this week to review, but we're developing an instrument that will assess the climate of the jail from the inmate's perspective as well as the staff perspective. It's like a questionnaire.
All right, well, let's do this. Let's have a follow-up, because I really want to drill down a lot harder on the jobs and on the education. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can have some new initiatives to announce. And then, so today is what is today, the 18th? So today's the 18th. So maybe if we have it January 18th, no later than that. And then if we have the town hall by the end of January, maybe between now and then, we can really zero in on some of these job opportunities. I was looking at the the slide 4, and the inmates, at least the quotes that were pulled by the CAPSTAT team, I think really kind of get at the gist of it. Jobs within the jail, more opportunity for work details, as the city administrator was talking about, employment for those being released. I think that's just critical. And that's where we really start to make a difference. You know what I mean? That's where the higher percentage of people coming out of jail who are already employed, who stay in that job, that's where we change. That's where we change this city. More programs like Project Empowerment. So I think we're going to figure out whether we can do it a little bit earlier. On-the-job training programs, and here's some good examples. Auto mechanic. We talked about computers, machine shop training. I think we can do all of these in the jail. I think we need to keep everyone in there just busy all day long. And resume writing, better vocational programs. I think that's similar to the on-the-job training. And opportunities for white and blue-collar jobs, and the city administrator even put in green-collar jobs.
That's true.
We have an initiative around that.
I just came from the Green Team meeting. That's what
No, it's a good initiative. All right. Well, I think we've got some progress. I think let's see how fast we can go with the idea that we're going to go into the jail at the end of January, and with the idea, as my father always said, the customer is always right. So no matter what we think here in the CAPSTAT room, we've got to get good grades from the customer. So let's see what we could pull together on education and jobs and anything else over the next month, and then but in the meantime, we'll start working on all of the logistics for the town hall. And I just want to thank everybody. I know this was a lot of information to pull together, but I think it's very helpful. I don't think that this has probably ever been done, and I think that I should also say, I think this is maybe a new way of kind of going about judging the performance of what happens in the jail. But there was an old way too, and I think just the jail running correctly, keeping people locked down, the public safety issues. There's obviously significant mental health, general health, and substance abuse issues, which seem to be progressing very well. So on many fronts, it seems like the jail is the Department of Corrections with our sister agencies doing a very good job. But now I think we've got these challenges in the city that surround our neighbors who are in a cycle. As you said, almost 50% of the people coming back into the jail. We've got to take every opportunity, whether it's the schools, whether it's the juvenile justice system, child welfare system, or here in the Department of Corrections, to reach our neighbors and interrupt that cycle. So I think this is a good start to that. So we'll come back together in a month.
Yes, sir.
And I wish to thank everybody. Thank the CAPSTAT team again and all the agencies who've been working on this. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
All right.
You too.
Yeah.